right, we're back live on the Worship Express, Highway 68, headed to the airport with Marcus Green. And just referring back to the story there on blind Bartimaeus and Jericho and Jesus and kingship, I wonder, Marcus, would you reflect a little bit on the implications of that story for us, both with respect to worship in the streets and in the sanctuary?
Okay, well, you know, it's that connection to the memory and drawing people in, not just to their experience, because, you know, their experience in that moment, Jesus says, the text is amazing. Jesus said to the blind man, "What do you want me to do for you?" And it's really important to realize at that moment, and in saying that, he's not just saying it to Bartimaeus, he's saying it to Zedekiah, he's saying it to the whole people of Israel. He's connecting them together and showing who he is and where he's going. He's connecting them to him. Now our worship's got to do that. Our worship's got to say to the blind man, to the depressed, to the bereaved, to the divorced, to the struggling, to whoever you are at that moment in time, defined by whatever the world has done to you and you have done to yourself. Yet you've got to see you are part of the memory of the story. And here is Jesus standing there saying, "What do you want me to do for you? Because you are part of this story, this people, and I am the same." That's what it's going to say.
Yeah. So you're talking about the incorporation. We're coming up on a little detour here.
Oh, let's go through these.
This is fun.
It is.
You're talking about, like, what's the difference in sort of a thin therapeutic approach and helping someone to remember past their own memory?
Yes, absolutely. To be incorporated into the body and whose head is Christ. It's not just, my experience is not the world. It is not the beginning and the end. He is the Alpha and the Omega and everything in between. And we have to be part of that story. It is the remembering of that shows us today is not the only day.
Yeah, let me press that a little bit further. This idea, you know, so often we want to say to, you know, choose the sort of malady or need or struggle, and we want to say basically Jesus is the answer, and that in order to appropriate that answer, you need to have, on the one hand, some sort of an existential experience, some type of a catharsis, which is not a bad thing. Or on the other hand, you need to have some sort of mastery of a principle or a discipline or some kind of life application. I think we're talking about something a lot deeper than that here.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not an experience and it's not a principle, it's a relationship. And it's a relationship bound up not just with me and Jesus, though me and Jesus matters. It's a relationship bound up with what righteousness is all about. And righteousness is that right relationship, which is God and God's people. We are called to be worshippers. That is the right relationship. We are created to know our Creator, to love Him with heart, mind, soul and strength, and to be bound up into that story. And that's what a little incident like that does. Now, here's another thing with that story. So Bartimaeus is at the side of the road going, "Son of David, have mercy on me, a sinner," and they want to shut him up. And he just persists, won't be silent. And eventually they say, "Hey, cheer up, he's calling you now." And at that point it seems to have all changed. But the next thing that happens, of course, is they're going into Jerusalem and all of the crowds are saying, "Son of David." Who do you think starts the song? Bartimaeus goes with them from Jericho to Jerusalem.
Yeah, he becomes the worship leader in a sense.
The one who is transformed by that encounter, that being bound into the whole story of God's people, transforms those around him and takes the story on instead.
Yeah.
That's important.
Yeah. It's like he was given his identity. His identity was restored.
Yeah.
And he was no longer defined as blind Bartimaeus. It's fascinating how that's even how he's named.
Yeah, absolutely. But being transformed, he transforms everyone else. Now that's an incredibly important truth for us as worshippers, for us as the people of God. And that's what we've got to seek to do in our worship, is connect us so to Jesus, so that being connected, we then change the story for others.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Well, that is my muffler that you hear, and we're taking up a collection for a new muffler on this Honda Accord, hoping to give it as a gift to my car for his 20th birthday. So we'll be back with more soon.